What's going on, guys? This is Kaisha. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. So in this video, we're going to cover OCG topping tournaments from post-ban list of October 2024 limit regulation that was dropped on Monday this week. So we are going to cover tournament results from Tuesday to Friday today. So we are going to cover tournaments in major regions, namely Japan, Korea, China, and Taiwan. So without further ado, let's start. So starting off first on our report, we do have Zodiac, no? The only leaf for the Zodiac was the unbanned section of Trident. And now Zodiac have access towards the Trident. And boy, it was really amazing. It already got a topping performance on our report here. So we Trident, the Zodiac are able to set up a very desirable board going first, and on this build it didn't even play the Utopic Future Duo, so it just relies on the Trident to make the turn 1, and also on the main deck it played a bunch of hand traps, triple Fuaros, triple Veiler, triple Droll, and also a bunch of tech cards like Droplet and the Dominus Purge. So very exquisite deck profile here, and this could be a very good reference for people who want to play Zodiac in this October 2024 format. So yeah, moving on. We do have Blue Eyes in Marineford TCG tournament as the champion of the tournament. So looking on our list here, it's just pretty standard. It played the Synchro Rumble, of course, and also played Triple Droll. And the only notable one was only the Gamma package into the main deck, and also played one Veiler, no, very odd. Probably a cross-out target for him. But overall, this is a pretty solid list. Next, moving on, we do have Branded. So Branded got a boost from the ban list with Branded opening going back into 2. So now the deck is more consistent and also be able to play around more hand traps effectively. And the recent trend for Branded was playing Azamina package, and it is very successful because you're able to set up Omni Negate threats on your Azamina play, and it can also protect your board. And yeah, this is a pretty solidly 60 card branded. I believe that's the most optimal way to play branded right now with a 60 card variant. Next we do have Metabit. Oh my goodness, Metabit. So if the format is very new, no, I think people would often go into playing Metabit or Stun because it is very easy to play. You don't really need to think too much, and it is a good deck to play when you don't know what to play yet in this early format. Next we do have Wow, True Draco, Zodiac, Horus. Oh my gosh. It is insane. So it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-2 as the champion of the tournament. So it played Tyrant's Tirade, no? You are able to tribute your monsters and set up this disgusting floodgate. And also the Zodiac offers a boost when going second, routes to Zeus, and as this list, it is playing triple Zeus, the newly lifted Zeus as well, by ramping up Zeus after Zeus after Zeus. You have that bunch of materials to detach for the Zeus and be able to wipe anything around your opponent. No? So this is a really solid list. I believe this could be really innovative and a new way to play the Zodiac through Draco. Next would be Drytron. So Drytron didn't even play the EVA that was recently bumped into 2, but this Drytron often patronizes the new support of Drytron with some Orthartic cards, no? And I believe Drytron is in a really solid spot right now. With Maxi going into 2, I believe it could also boost the chances of Drytron playing and avoiding the Maxi. And yeah, overall this list is really okay. I think there are variants of Drytron playing the EVA, but I think people more uh play have playing into the Drytron without the EVA. And next would be Finsmith. Oh my goodness, Finsmith with Visas and Kashtira. Yeah, I believe. So it is still playing the Finsmith now, even though Engraver was limited into one. I believe it could still function as an engine, as a complementary engine for the visas, and you're able to set up this array and potentially the Caesar, no? So it is not dead yet. It still has functions to be played in this modern game. Next would be Korean tournament, ST STO3 tournament. We do have Altergeist as the champion of that tournament, and boy, Altergeist, I have also said that Altergeist is a good budget deck to play right now because of the nature of the deck being able to grind out games in prolonged game periods, and you're able to control the game one pretty much effectively because not many people have answers on your back row, and you're very grindy. I believe not many decks could go toe to toe with your resources. And next would be Stellar Knights, no? Interesting. So this is another way to play rank 4 into this meta game, no? It played the Aratama and Sakitama engine that you're able to play going into rank 4 easily. And I believe it has skip turns shenanigans into this deck. So it is very abrupt and toxic to deal with when you don't know how to navigate against this deck. Next would be White Woods with Toy Box Engine. So it played triple chicken game, no? Boost the consistency of the White Woods with the chicken game and double talent. Pretty interesting. So it also played the Angel State Q, which is another layer of interruption to negate special summon. And next would be Gotti. Oh my goodness. Gotti. Oh my lord. So Gotti topping in 2024. So it only played one Gold Sarcophagus even though Gold Sark is bumped into 2. So yeah, Gotti, definitely interesting deck and pretty unexplored, no? It is not explored yet to a certain degree that there is a standard list for Gotti. Next would be Ryzil, of course. The format will be incomplete without Ryzil. So Ryzil definitely looking to be the best deck available to play in this October format. With Ryzil having the most consistency, and the consistency is really unmatched. Not many decks can be able to compare against the consistency of Ryzil. And Ryzil have 9 one-card starters with the Tachyon Searchers and Bonfire. They only have lost the Bonfire, so it is just a minor consistency hit for the Ryzil, but they're still able to win tournaments because of the inherent consistency of the deck, and overall really solid. And yeah, moving on, we have Marineford TCG tournament in Korea. First would be Gimmick Puppet. Of course, Gimmick Puppet was not addressed from the previous ban list. It is just only going to compete and dominate games due to the FTK shenanigans of the deck. And I believe it should be addressed for the following ban list because FTK should never be a thing in modern game. But here we go. Gimmick Puppet winning the whole tournament here. Next would be, oh my goodness, what copium is this? It is playing Snake Eyes, Fire King, Finsmith. Oh my goodness, huge coping mechanism. So it just went X2, I believe, second place of the tournament, and played as a mean as well, no? So it could still work, even though you have a lot of R1, you are like the neutral tier elements in a sense that you have one Poplar, one Ash, one Wanted, one Witch. So you have a lot of R1 already. So it could still work. The engine still meshes well together, but not as consistent as before. Next would be Blackwing, very interesting. When we are new to a format, no, there's a bunch of Grove decks that are tapping. Because why not? Just go to your comfort deck and play the format and see how it will play out, no? It's just a matter of observation and calculating things on your own perspective. And next would be Centurion Finsmith. So even though Finsmith was nerfed, no, it is still played on Centurion. Probably a way to be more resilient and extend your plays. And of course, going to the Sequentia play of Finsmith. So yeah, really interesting. Next would be Rescue Ace, Fire King, Azamina. So it went X1, yeah, I believe, in the tournament. And yeah, pretty standard, double Promethean into the extra deck. And moving on, we do have Malice, of course, the second best deck in my own books. It just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7-2 in the tournament. And pretty huge, no, considering that there's a lot of rounds. And one notable trend into the late July format was the inclusion of Book of Eclipse into the side deck or main deck even of most people. It is used to address the Ryzil, on some occasions and could be a pretty decent board breaker and a way to flip face down the monsters of your opponent and just capitalize from that, annihilate their board and make sure that they won't get any draw or you're able to OTK them successfully. Next would be Ryzil once again. So played 1 Desires only into the main deck. Only 1 Desires, pretty odd ratio, but it also played Instant Fusion, being able to access out the Dragon Fusion. You're able to protect your monsters and also can be an extender for your rank 4 plays. And also played triple Lancea, Lancea, very massive card against Malice. You're able to shut down the whole Malice setup once you resolve Lancea against them. Next would be next place is in Japan. The champion would be Ryzil, no? So it played the Spirit Engine, and this could be a good alternative if you are not going to run the Tachyon or yeah, you don't have money to buy Tachyon because the card is very expensive right now. Probably the most expensive thing into the Ryzil. And next would be Malice, second place. Triple Nibiru, triple Droll. No problem. I believe you don't really want to play Shifter right now, no? Because not many decks are going to suffer with Shifter. They are able to play around effectively like Ryzil. I believe they are going to set up accordingly even though they have got Shifted. But with Droll and Nibiru, this could be more pivotal towards the mirror match of Malice and also the Ryzil and other combo-ish decks. And next would be Ryzil once again, double Ghost Ogre. So there's been a confusion from many people before that the Duo Drive was detached for cost, but it was addressed by the people in X or Twitter that Ryzil doesn't detach for cost. So once you drop Ghost Ogre on the effect of Ryzil to search two Ryzil cards, they are going to be cancelled and the Ryzil Duo Drive won't resolve its effect. So Ghost Ogre is a massive card to counter the Ryzil matchup. And probably the Voices Voice and Runic, which are also prevalent, you're able to target the barrier and also the fountain with the Ghost Ogre. Next would be Voices Voice. Speaking of the devil, we do have Voices Voice here. This time it played triple Nadir Servant that you're able to dump something like the Garura, no? So you're able to get draw one and you're able to search cards for it with the Maximus and Maximus gets another dump and the list goes on. It is very snowbally for the Voices Voice and you're able to generate so much card advantages once you resolve the Nadir Servant. And next would be, what is this? Mementotlan. So Mementotlan with Goblin Biker Tech or Goblin Rider. I'm not really sure what is the new name for Goblin Biker or Rider at this point. The TCG definitely messes up the names of OCG imports. And yeah, moving on, we do have Unchained. Unchained Finsmith. So this deck was definitely rattled by the Finsmith nerfs. Now they don't have Beatrice. They only have one Engraver. And yeah, I believe this could be a good way to play Finsmith right now because of the synergy between the Unchained and Finsmith. So we are going to bank on the Finsmith synergy and Fin monsters. And yeah, you also have lots of room for non-engine with triple Droll, triple Imperm, and triple Droplet. Next would be Labyrinth. Oh my goodness, Labyrinth DPE. So it has been a while since we have seen the DPE engine, but now it is live once again with the double Fusion Destiny. We're able to make DPE, and it is even playing Dragoon, no, into the extra deck because it is playing Waking the Dragon. So you're able to make Dragoon out from the Waking the Dragon once it get destroyed. So yeah, really interesting Labyrinth deck profile here. Undefeated 3-0. Insane. Next would be Blue Eyes once again with Jack in the hand. Interesting. So you have a lot of level 1s, no? With the Magician's Souls and Jack in the hand. Another level 1 fetcher and it's also playing the Virtual World QB Shanshen. So Shanshen, really phenomenal card. Back in the day, it was really terrifying. And it is a live macrocosmos, you cannot deny that. So you have a lot of upsides with this Shanshen. Next would be Snake Eyes once again. So there's a bunch of people that are coping with Snake Eyes and they're playing Magician's Souls. And of course Azamina, no? Because what is the deck without Azamina? You're going to be crept with inconsistency issues if you're not playing as a Mina. So with Magician Souls, you're able to be more consistent and probably start your plays with these Magician Souls. Next would be Branded. Once again, 60 card Branded. So pretty standard. Just play Triple Trust with the D Barrier, which is really strong against the Ryzil. And next would be another Snake Eyes. I believe it's the same list as earlier, or not. It is playing Triple Change of Heart, no? Interesting. Could be good against Ryzil or Malice. Next would be Spiral. So Quick Fix was back into 3, and many people have been trying to test out the Spiral, but I believe it really suffers around Fuaros and Maxi and even Purilia. So it is really hard to play such deck with so much summoning into the mechanic, and you also need to do a lot of summons to be able to just set up a decent board or minuscule interruption on your side of the field, no? Next, we do have Traptrix, champion of Marineford TCG tournament. So it played Bottomless Trap Hole and Grave Diggers, and also played the Terrors of the Underroot. Interesting choice. Didn't opt to reveal the extra deck or even side deck. Next, we do have Blue Eyes, Primordial, when undefeated 4-0. So with the Primordial, you're able to access out your vanilla monsters much effectively, and you have a lot of ways to start your plays aside from the usual Blue Eye setup. And you're playing triple Dominus Purge, which can be great asset for the deck because you don't really have drawbacks too much around the Purge, aside from the Ash Blossom, I believe. So triple Evenly, no? It has been a thing for quite some time already because Evenly wipes the board of Runic, Voices Voice, and even the likes of the Ryzil or Malice. They're going to struggle with Evenly much. And next would be Unchained once again. So 2 Unchains in our report. This time with triple Chaos Hunter. This could be an alternative for the Lancea. So Lancea could be really factor, but with Chaos Hunter, you're able to set up a terrifying floodgate on your board, and the Malice doesn't have any chance to out that once they don't have the likes of Imperm or something like Droplet to answer the Chaos Hunter. So it is definitely hard for them to answer the Chaos Hunter. Really interesting option here for Unchained. Next would be Tri Brigade Horus with Sprite Engine with the Nimble package. So Horus and Nimble package with Sprite, pretty huge amount of bricks and engine towards one deck, but I believe it could work because you're just going to dump your Nervalier kit, and you're able to maximize also the dump from the Nimble package with the Angler and Beaver. So yeah, it could work. You're just going to go into Gigantic or Sprint easily and set up something like the Double Dragon Lord or something like Little Knight, and even the likes of Photon Galaxy rank 8, you're able to access out with the Horus engine. Next would be Labyrinth. So pure Labyrinth, no? I believe it is playing only one rollback, even though you are not playing Finsmith. Yeah, it is pretty odd. Yeah, I believe most Labyrinth would often play triple rollback, but this opt to play one rollback only. And yeah, played one copy of Lady into the side deck. Interesting. And yeah, that sums up our most recent OCG topping tournament deck list from post-October 2024 ban list. So if you found this video informative and helpful, please consider subscribing into my YouTube channel. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. And once again, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.